The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Draw to Biner. Ernest Biner. Fumble the ball, and Denver has recovered. Oh, my.
Travis Coons for the win. And it's blocked. And it's picked up by Will Hill. Will Hill runs down the sideline. Hill's going to get a block. Will Hill is going to win the game on a blocked field goal. Unbelievable. Will Hill drilled me. What a play. At the buzzer, it's a kick six. And the Ravens find a way to win.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
About the wonderful coaching that is Hugh Jackson. Because we had a text shortly after we recorded the last show about the Browns' win in Week 3. About how apparently Hugh Jackson is unaware of where his plays come from.
Is there a bigger signal out there that coaching staff and he are not at all on the same page than that? They ask him about the Browns basically running the Philly special against the Jets. And Hugh Jackson's like, no, you can look in our playbook. We've had that in there forever, blah, 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 blah. Then they go to Todd Haley and he goes, absolutely, I have no shame. I stole it. Oh, my God. I don't even know what to say anymore. I told you guys yesterday, I hate everything. I just hate everything.
I think at this point, the Browns coaching staff just needs to learn to nod politely when Hugh Jackson is around and then proceed to ignore him at every opportunity.
I thought
it's the only way this team's ever going to accomplish anything so long as he's the coach.
At first I thought, I'm a fan, and fans always want to, A, change the quarterback, and B, fire the coach. So I was willing
Birdie!
Right. I was willing to write it off as just me being a typical fan. And then I hear Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal making fun of Hugh Jackson. And I hear other people making fun of Hugh Jackson. And I listen to radio hosts saying they need to fire Hugh Jackson and that the coaching's terrible. I hear Cleveland Plain Dealer columnists saying they've got to do something about this coaching staff. So maybe there's something to it. I don't know.
I think you're onto something because you see it every time, someone wants to be, quote unquote, oh, look, I noticed something no one else did. We've all fucking noticed it. But you see people bringing up every now and then, did you guys realize that the Browns should be 4-0? It's yes, we're aware. It's a good point, and you have to look at this team. I mean, this is a talented group of guys. The offense took a while to get going, but once they got Mayfield in there, it really seemed to click. And at this point, why aren't they 4-0? And it comes down to coaching. There are certain things in sports, not just football, but in sports where you can go, this is a personnel problem, they just can't get it done. But then there are other times where it's no, the players, the talent's there. It's beyond that, and this is a case where I think that's applicable.
I agree. When I was watching the game yesterday, when they got up 28-14, it was about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and he went straight Marty Schottenheimer, 3 runs into the line punt. It looked like the entire team just slumped their shoulders. Here we go. He's going to fuck this up for us again. And that's exactly what happened. And the Raiders got back in it. Then the offense came back to life, and they got out again by, I think, 8 at one point. I don't know what to say at this point. You scored 42 points, and you lose. You had a 14-point lead and an 8-point lead, and you still lose. And I would say, it's just typical Browns, but this team's better than that. I think you're right. I think at some point you got to go, it's the coaching. And I don't think it's all the coaching. I think it's him.
Yeah.
The guy straight up lied about Todd Haley stealing the Philly special.
Either that or he just didn't know.
Or he didn't know.
Which, again, is something he's done before where he either was lying or didn't know, and neither one's a good result. 3 weeks, and we've had 3 different times where the coaching staff and Jackson clearly were not communicating with each other. We could go on and on about that game. I don't know what to say at this point.
I think I had a pretty good take. it was a true chess battle of mental giants between Jackson and John Gruden.
And what else does it say when you get out coached by John Gruden? Come on. Come on.
2018 John Gruden.
2018 John Gruden, exactly.
Not even 2001 John Gruden.
I don't know, guys. I don't think we have that much to talk about. A game between two last-place teams. Some teams that are just a cut above the rest.
Shut up. What did you call us? Peasants?
Peasants scavenging for breadcrumbs.
Yes. Bow down before your new NFL overlords.
I tell you what, though, those Rams are fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
Oh, they are something.
And even in the Thursday night game where, like, you know, the storyline for the Rams going into the season was, oh, look at all the money they spent on defense. They're going to have this potent offense and a shutdown defense. What can't they do? Well, you know, in a game like Thursdays, the defense didn't exactly show up until the end, but showed up when it needed to, but it wasn't there the entire time. It was another shootout. But the thing that was, again, most impressive is the offense was able to score at will. And yes, a lot of that is Sean McVay and his play calling. And God damn, does he design some beautiful plays just to isolate your weaknesses and exploit it. But what I saw in that game, what I've seen over the last 2 weeks in particular, remember how dumb we all thought Jared Goff was and how much of an idiot he was?
If you remember, you go back to his rookie season, and we were still doing the football exclusive show back then. We talked on numerous occasions about how, wow, we don't think this guy's very bright. They may have blown this pick. They should have taken Carson Wentz, blah, 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 blah.
And now he looks like the league MVP 4 weeks in.
Mm-hmm.
He made some incredible throws on Thursday night.
Question. Could it possibly be that the apprehension people had about Goff in his rookie season was because Jeff Fisher is a terrible coach who didn't utilize him properly?
That's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was.
Yeah.
If you need any further proof that Jeff Fisher was at his very best a mediocre coach, all you got to do is look at this Rams team. Now, this year, they've added a lot of personnel, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But last year, McVay took essentially the same, again, you never get 100% carryover with an NFL team, but essentially the same roster and won, 11 games with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but whatever the case, they made the playoffs with basically the same roster that Fisher used the year before. That I think went 5-11. Because he's like,
they went from 4-12 to 12-4.
Yeah,
and won the division.
Yeah, remember he was I'm no fucking 9-7 team. Well, he was right about that.
Yeah, he ain't fucking 7-9.
No,
blessed.
4-12.
I think he got fired when he was 5-9 or 4-9. So. But yeah, I can't say enough about the strides Jared Goff in particular has taken. Yes, McVay is there a lot, but Goff still has to execute the throws.
Well, yeah, they're going to start tagging him with the system quarterback thing, which is starting to drive me nuts because they're even throwing it at Tom Brady now. Mm-hmm. And they said it about Joe Montana. They've said it about pretty much every great quarterback except Brett Favre, who I guess is just a gunslinger out there having fun. But he's the only one that ever did that. Peyton Manning, system quarterback, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're all system quarterbacks, but the thing is you've got to be able to execute the system, and that's the difference. And this kid's executing the system flawlessly.
Okay, I'm going to just talk about like the whole gunslinger having fun. Fuck Brett Favre. Just
yeah, I loved Brett Favre, but he needed to go away way sooner than he did. But yeah, Goff he looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. And the Rams look fantastic. And I look at him now. Granted, it's only 4 weeks into the season, but I'm looking at it going, nobody can beat these guys.
Yeah,
I don't.
You know what's going to be hilarious though? The best regular season game on paper in the NFL this season, Chiefs Rams, is going to be on a Monday night in Mexico City.
God, the NFL needs to stop with these fucking special location games.
Well, I mean,
because you get shit like this.
I didn't know it was going to be this kind of game ahead of time. But
I know, but but I mean that's the kind of thing you never know. You never know, like. For all anyone knows, like 1 year, like the premier matchup of the week might be some bullshit London game that no one cares about. That's on at like 9 a.m. Like that's because there is such a level of parity in the NFL. You really never know what's going to be your marquee matchup, and like you can't afford to take risks like this. Like another thing, like the first season that the Rams were back in LA, right? They played the Giants in London. And it's like that was your first.
They played the Cardinals in London.
Was it Cardinals?
Yeah, they shut out the Cardinals 33-0 in London.
So the Cardinals can't score on them on 2 continents.
Yes, correct.
My point is, my point is that first season back in LA, and you kind of gave up a home game, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just bugs me because, like, look, they're never expanding to London. They're never expanding to Mexico City. Maybe that's why they want to have these events there, but no, because imagine how rockin', Chiefs Rams would be in either LA or Kansas City. Like, that would be that would be a premier matchup. And
prime time game, give people all day to tailgate, fill up Arrowhead or the Coliseum, sure.
Mexico City doesn't bother me nearly as much as London does. I don't know if it's because we're in the same hemisphere, same time zones and all that. Yeah. The London thing drives me crazy because you can't put a team over there. You just can't do it. It's just logistically, it's impossible. I mean, you could do it, but it would be a disaster.
The Earth, in its infinite arrogance, refuses to, shorten its surface area. So
once we develop warp drive and all that, maybe then. But until then, no. Or bring back the Concorde and make the trip easier. But anything short of that, you can't even think about it.
Yeah.
But man, these Rams, they look good, and they look pretty good in those throwbacks too.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad that that's what we're wearing the rest of the season at home. Good choice, Rams and NFL for changing the rules.
Man, how hard was that?
Hey, Greg, where's your irrational confidence lying
the
these days?
Oh, my irrational confidence, I am right back on board with my Tennessee Titans, baby.
Fucking hell.
I apologize to my Titans for ever doubting them. I am so sorry, guys. For a couple weeks there, I was blinded by my own stupidity, and I thought the Jets were the team to watch. But no, I am back, and I just begged your forgiveness. Let me come back to my irrational confidence Tennessee Titans.
Greg. Are you aware that the irrational confidence Titans defeated the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles?
I am indeed.
Okay. Just
and
wanted to
dare I say it, could it be possible that Mike Vrabel might be one of the coaches from the Belichick tree that might turn out to be pretty good? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean,
I'm qualifying of that.
It's the AFC South. Good is a relative term.
Well, yeah, and I'm qualifying the hell out of that. I'm not saying with any kind of, I'm not being definite about any of it, but could it be? Probably not, but hey, whatever. I'm back, guys. All I'm saying. I'm sorry I ever left.
So this is how the Titans have fared this season. They lost a 1-score game in Miami in the the Hurricane game.
Right.
They won a 3-point game over Houston at home. They won 9-6 at Jacksonville, again a 3-point game, and then they beat the Super Bowl champion Eagles in overtime at home in another 3-point game. So
has this team cracked 28 points all season?
I think they've scored 28 points combined, have they?
They scored 20, 29, and 26.
That's why I love them. Yeah, my irrational confidence fully back on board with the Tennessee Titans, where it should have been all along.
Look, the Titans aren't good. I don't know.
Of course they're not good. They're never good. That's the beauty of it.
They made the playoffs last season, though, and they're going to do it again somehow.
No.
Yeah, well, somebody has to be a wild card in the AFC, I guess. It's just who was the quarterback this weekend? Was it Mariota again?
I have no idea. No idea.
It was Mariota.
Unfortunately, I had to go to my nephew's birthday party yesterday, so I missed all the early games. I didn't see much of anything for the first half of the day. So I don't know who played. I don't know. I'm guessing it was Mariota, right?
Yeah.
Well, they scored a touchdown, so it probably was.
It was Mariota. It was.
Is Derrick Henry, is that the guy they're going with at running back, or is it still DeMarco Murray, or is he even still there? For a team that
wasn't Derrick Henry injured?
Oh, I don't know.
No. He is the running back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, hey, Mike's Chargers won a game yesterday.
Woo!
Yeah, a tough road environment at the StubHub Center.
Right.
It would have been the ultimate insult because not only did the Chargers lose, or not only did the Chargers miss 2 extra points,
that they did.
They almost lost to C.J. Beathard. If this was Jimmy Garoppolo, all right, yeah, that's a tight game, and good on you, Chargers, for knocking down Jimmy G. But Chargers.
I tell you, man, Well, what'd they leave on the
2-2? Okay.
Are they 2-2?
Yes, they are 2-2.
That's not bad.
I'll have you know that on the broadcast for this game, they brought up that it was that the team is 2-2, and their 2 losses are to the undefeated Rams and the undefeated Chiefs. So this team is going places.
Yeah, they've actually won 6 of their last 7 at home. Also, in the tough confines of Carson, California.
Well, yeah, that's a tough environment for them to play in.
No, but it was a typical Chargers game through and through. Missed kicks, opportunities that the 49ers probably should have won that game, and Phillip Rivers being his animated best all day long.
I don't understand how this keeps happening with the kickers.
No
2
one
extra
does.
points, and I believe he missed a field goal too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
What the hell? It's got to be a curse. It's the only, there can't be this many bad kickers. That.
Well, you see, Mike, it's the upside down lightning bolt on the pants.
You know what? That's probably it. It's stitching on it. It just fucks everything up.
That's as good a theory as any I've heard. I don't even know. I don't know. You think they need to fix that? They really do, because it's been happening so long now that it's become a running joke with everybody. They're kicking problems, but that tells me that either Mike's right, the team is just cursed, and that's just the way it's going to be from here on out. Maybe you should just start going for 2 after every touchdown. Or they have just made no effort to address this whatsoever. I don't know which one it is. I'm leaning towards cursed, because even by accident, you think you'd get a good kicker at least once.
It's since it's been since 07, 08. We're coming up on a decade of consistently shitty Chargers.
Who was that dude, that kicker that I think maybe spent a draft pick on a bot for a lot of money, but he ended up screwing him. This was back 10 years ago. I can't think of his name anymore. But he was supposed to be the answer to all their kicking prayers, and he turned out to be just as bad as everybody else. You know what I'm talking about, Zach? Remember?
Nate Keating?
Oh.
Nate Keating. That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Nate Keating is patient fucking zero of this bullshit.
Yeah.
You go back. He was the one who missed those field goals 2 years in a row that would have won them playoff games.
Right.
The first one was when they went 14-2, right? And they ended up losing to the Patriots in the playoffs on a last second field goal missed by Keating. He is the center of the black hole.
Right. That's what I was thinking. He was the guy that started this whole thing. And if I remember right, he was supposed to be, I don't want to say a first-round pick, but I thought they drafted him pretty high in the draft, maybe 3rd or 4th round even.
Something like that.
I'm not sure where he was drafted, but okay, get this. So
round 3 in 2004.
So professional career, San Diego Chargers. Oh, that feels good to say. During the 2004 season, Keating attempted to become the first rookie since 1970 to make a game-winning field goal in the playoffs in the final 2 minutes of the 4th quarter in overtime. His 40-yard field goal attempt on a wet field missed, and the Chargers lost the wild card round to the New York Jets, who won the game on a Doug Breen field goal. Keating's postseason struggles continued in the 2006 playoffs, where he missed a potential game-tying 54-yard field goal attempt against the New England Patriots. He had not missed a field goal at home in the previous 2 years. Jeez, oh God!
He broke his leg, then missed field goals in a bunch of other playoff games.
In the 2007 playoffs, Keating missed a field goal in each. Missing field goal each the wild card weekend game against the Tennessee Titans and against the Indianapolis Colts in the next round.
That makes that 4 consecutive games where he missed a field goal in the playoffs.
2009. Okay, his season-long 54. And then he got injured. So yeah. A lot of just bullshit. A lot of fucking bullshit.
I think you're right. The team is cursed.
Like Nate I don't know what it was. Like Nate Keating, like he didn't just miss a bunch of playoff field goals. Like
he was one of the best regular season kickers of all time.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Like but whatever he did, just fucking curse this team. And now any kicker who puts on a Chargers jersey just fucking, it's like Charlie Brown on a weekly basis. Like the best part had to be last season where they missed a potential game-winning field goal and still set off the fireworks. Fuck this! God damn it! How does this keep happening?
Oh man. I just say, Zach, enjoy your time at the top of the football world because it is no fun down here where we are. Believe me.
I'm doing all I can to soak it in.
Because really, at some point you just have to laugh. You just have to go. You know what?
I can do. That's the only thing I can just laugh and drink.
Right, laugh, just go whatever because this is the way it is. As long as there's a huge accent out there, as long as the Chargers have to kick extra points and field goals, this is where we're going to be.
Honestly, if I were the Chargers coaching staff, I'd be like, we're going for 2 after every touchdown.
Yeah, right. Why not?
I loved when the Rams kicker got injured in week 2, and they had to do that for the entire game. I enjoyed the hell out of it because just like, all right, cool, let's do this. Let's blow them out. Oh, come on.
But in fairness, though, and to give a little bit of credit to the NFL, since they've moved that extra point back, it's made it more interesting. That's for sure. You've got a lot of guys that.
You could put you could put it on the fucking one and the Chargers would miss everything.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But it has made it more interesting where it's not so automatic, and that's kind of neat. Yeah. But I don't know what, dude. I think you're right. I think they're just cursed. It's as simple as that because nothing else would explain it. Because then they signed. I forget. After Keating, who did they get? Another guy that was supposed to be really good.
It doesn't
matter. It doesn't matter.
It's all a blur.
It's all a blur of crushed dreams in January.
They could bring Adam Vinatieri to the Chargers, and he would suck.
I don't know, man. What the fuck?
You know when the doom started for your team was when Marty Schottenheimer went 14-2 and ended up losing a playoff game they had no business losing to the Patriots, right?
They picked off Brady 3 times in that game.
Wasn't the final score in that game 14-10?
No. I want to say it was 21-24 because that was the game where Keating missed a game-tying field goal. So it was they definitely lost by 3 points.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to say it was like 17-14 then, because they had that prolific offense that should have put 40 on the board.
Antonio Gates, LT, Phillip Rivers,
right?
That was a great offense.
But Marty went, dude, believe me, I've seen Marty Schottenheimer do this. I was there when he first became Marty Schottenheimer, and I watched him take prolific offenses and turn them into 3 yards in a cloud of dust because it was the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it was the right score. It was 24-21 New England over San Diego. And yeah, the Chargers picked off Brady 3 times. You pick off Tom Brady 3 times, you're doing all – like you should win that game.
Yeah, you're doing everything you can do at that point, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, fucking Nate Keating.
I hate the NFL. I just hate it. I hate it all. I don't like any of it because I've looked like an idiot pretty much the entire season.
Yeah, speaking of the Patriots, Greg.
I'm still not backing away from that. I still think they're not right. But Miami's terrible. We all knew it. They were 3-0, yeah, but come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tom Brady got mad is I think what happened.
I didn't get to see any of that one either, but I saw the final score and I went, well, that's going to go down in history as one of my more bold predictions that I got completely wrong. And while we're talking, can I just throw out what the hell were the Detroit Lions wearing yesterday? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, the all silver look.
Oh my God.
Not good. Not good at all. And I mean, they wore it in a loss, so all the better for them.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say
anymore.
Dak
Prescott, so
yeah.
What else happened exciting?
There's such a large pile of mediocre and garbage in this league that
but you know what?
Really not what we're talking about.
I think we might have got it on the Bears, guys. Those of us that said the Bears were going to be pretty good. I think they might be pretty good. Now, again, I wouldn't expect a whole lot of 48-10 finals like they had yesterday, but that defense, you had Khalil Mack, and that improves your defense, 40% right out of the gate?
Yeah.
Probably. But, yeah, I think they're going to be tough.
And the Buccaneers' shining star has fallen. No more Fitzmagic. James Winston doing what he does.
What? James Winston doing what he does? 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions?
Well, here's my question.
Because that's what James Winston does.
Yep.
We're going to talk about hockey here in a little while, so I want to use this as an analogy, but the Capitals finally broke through and won a cup last year, okay? Mm-hmm. The Cubs won the World Series a couple of years ago. The Red Sox won the World Series back in 2000. At some point, the narrative that's always there seems to have to change, right? Except with Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is always good for a couple games and then becomes terrible. How does that happen? What happens to this guy? Does his talent level change? Does he become overconfident? What goes on?
Maybe it's an overconfident thing. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it's not like he can't do the things he was doing 2 weeks before.
Well, I think in particular, like I remember seeing a quote from him saying like he was preparing because he knew about the suspension of Jameis a while ago.
Yeah.
So he was preparing all season for the first couple games, right? Or all off season for the first couple games.
So the cousin Sal Bill Simmons thing may be correct then. If he's got 6 to 8 weeks to prepare for you, you're in trouble.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and
fair enough.
He has all that time. He gets all that effort. And then he starts getting deeper into the season and teams start adjusting and they haven't, and then they have to adjust the things he hasn't learned necessarily yet.
Okay.
And then it, falls apart.
But you would think, though, with a guy that has shown the flashes of brilliance that he has shown, and he's looked really, really good at times, that he'd figure out a way to not be so easy to figure out, if that makes sense. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But, I mean, everybody predicted, well, he'll last 3 weeks and that'll be it, and that's pretty much what happened. It's amazing to me. Amazing.
He lasted like 2.5.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, the clock strikes midnight, he's a pumpkin again, and, well, we're back to Jameis Winston.
Who is still not good,
no.
I want to say.
No, not at all.
How about that, though? You're a Buccaneers fan. In the first 2 weeks of the season, you're just filled with hope, and it looks so great and everything. And now, you're right back where you always are. And it took all of 2 weeks to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The Bills, not for real.
No.
The Packers.
How the fuck did you manage that, Minnesota?
It's like I told you guys when we were texting.
They overlooked them.
The Vikings were so clearly looking past them to that Rams game.
Yeah.
That's all it could be. Because the Packers defense shut you out. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's just bad.
Let's see. The Colts and Texans both tried to lose that game.
Okay, while we're here with that one, I didn't think the Colts made a bad call going forward on 4th down.
No, but I think you made a bad play call going forward on 4th down.
I liked going for it because if not, we were going to get another tie. And I'm good with going for it, but I think it's not the play to do it with. What were they, 4th and 4?
What they have a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I like a bit of moxie in the playoffs. Not the playoffs, but in overtime. Like I don't know. I hate it when teams play it safe in overtime. Like, go for the kill. Especially because a touchdown wins it, right? You don't have to worry about them matching a touchdown.
Yeah,
so,
this was late in the overtime.
I'm just saying I like seeing boldness in overtime. So it was fine. Although I agree with Zach that it was probably not the best play call.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Both those teams 1-3, and I feel so bad for Andrew Luck.
I think the Colts are pesky though. They're not going to win a lot, but I think they're going to be in a lot of games. They're pesky. They're not good.
Is the AFC South the worst division in football?
Probably. I think it has to be.
It all depends on
it's that or the NFC East, right?
It all depends on how much stock you put into Jacksonville and how good do you think they actually are as to how bad that division is.
No, I think Mike's right with the East because the Cowboys are garbage. The Giants are garbage.
The Eagles are close to being garbage.
The Redskins didn't play this week, and the Eagles are 2-2. Is still kind of dealing with stuff, so you can't really tell how they're going to.
They haven't looked good at all this season so far, really.
Yeah, right. But it's between the East and the NFC East and AFC South because, like you said, Greg, it's how far you want to throw Jacksonville.
I'm not so sure I'm sold on them like I was last year. I think that
Blake Bortles is always going to be a tough prospect to fully feel comfortable with.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen him enough this season to really get a real feel for him. But, they beat up New England, but then they go out and
only score 2 field goals against the fucking Titans.
But
so.
Again, though, they've historically had problems with the Titans, so maybe that's just a thing. But then who'd they beat over the weekend?
The Jets.
The Jets. So how much stock do you put into that? What did Darnold do in that game, Zach? Are we starting to worry about him a little bit?
I see. We were all on him for the first game, but you have to remember that first game, what the defense and special teams did
right
against the Lions. Since then, he's been pretty consistent, but in being consistent, he's just been kind of middle of the road. He's not throwing interceptions. He's being careful with it, but he's also really not creating a whole lot. So
17 of 34 for 167 yards, which is not great.
But that's against a pretty tough pass defense with Jacksonville, so I'm not going to worry about him again this week yet. I still think he's got potential to be a good quarterback because he's played. Well, the defense basically put him in position in the first week of the season. I forget who they played in week 2.
Oh, this is the greatest thing I just discovered. If you go to the game centers on the NFL site, you go through the scores, you can choose an individual game, and they have a comment section where people just comment on the NFL games.
Oh,
this is great. First comment on Jaguars-Jets. The Jets' play calling is atrocious. They're using the old Tecmo Bowl playbook that has like 8 plays.
Oh, that's better known as the Hugh Jackson playbook. No, wait, 8 plays? No, that's not. That must be Jackson uses, I think, the original. You've got Tecmo Super Bowl and Tecmo Bowl, and I think Jackson uses the original Tecmo Bowl, which is only 4 plays.
Well, it works as long as you have Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's while we're still on the Jacksonville game, Bortles facts. Some strong Bortles facts this week. Bortles fact number 1: Blake Bortles has never been penalized for intentional grounding, so good for him.
Okay.
Bortles fact number 2: Bortles only needs 51 touchdown passes against the New York Jets to set the NFL record for most in a single season, which is 55 by Peyton Manning. And let's see, there was one more Bortles fact. Oh, the most sacked quarterback in the NFL is Russell Wilson. The least sacked, Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles. Hey, well, you would have never guessed that, would you? No.
Bortles facts.
Bortles facts, ladies and gentlemen. We should have that sponsored by
at Bortles facts.
Or no, what was that old wine cooler company? Bartles and James. They could change the name to Bortles and James, and it's a perfect match. Look at that.
The Falcons need a defense, and they'd be really good.
Yeah.
Is it about time that we admit that maybe the Bengals might be for real? 3-1, not bad.
They're not bad. They're pretty good, I think. But you've always got to throw the X factor in there, and that's Marvin Lewis. You never know when that whole thing's just going to go right off the rails, and it probably will. But right now they look good. How about the Ravens? And how about the Steelers? What are they now? 1-2-1? No, what are they?
1-2-1. Now, I was under the impression that Ben Roethlisberger informed all of us that the Steelers had put their problems to bed last week in Tampa.
Well, they may have, but they forgot to take out the part where they win games. I don't know what to say about them. I don't think they're very good.
No. And of course, there's all that drama going around. Like, this team is like the fucking locker room's imploding.
Well, you got
you want to talk about like you brought up with the Patriots. You want to talk about a team that looks to be imploding from the inside. It's the Steelers.
Well, that's who I meant last week when I said Patriots. I just got my teams mixed up. That's all. Yeah. Right. I mean, look, they're so similar. Their uniforms look almost exactly alike. Come on.
Oh, God.
Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, those names rhyme. It's easy to mix them up. Come on. Give me a break. No, I think you're right. I think the Steelers have some issues. The Le'Veon Bell thing, they aren't going to bring him back. I hope Steelers fans aren't sitting around hoping that this will be what brings him back, because the Rooneys don't operate that way.
Apparently they're shopping him around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was the other one I wanted to bring up? We were talking.
Bengals are for real. Saints are for real.
Yeah, I'm glad I stayed on the Saints because I think they're going to be solid. How'd you guys like the look of the Color Rush uniforms yesterday?
Oh, I love those throwbacks.
It's brilliant.
They look good, right?
It's brilliant.
I wear those instead of the black leotards.
I agree.
That'd be great.
Giants look bad. Giants are still garbage.
Yeah.
Kamara, we were talking about him a couple weeks ago. He seems to have gotten it back on track, so that's good.
He found his groove in that game, definitely.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up from over the weekend, Seahawks-Cardinals, not necessarily anything about the game as it played out. Because
Cardinals almost won that.
Cardinals almost won it. Josh Rosen still probably not ready. The Seahawks are not very good. But Earl Thomas held out over the offseason.
That's what I wanted to bring
up. For the same reason that Le'Veon Bell did, wanted to get that guaranteed money as the markets changed, and he wanted to get paid more, and he realizes that this game, anything could happen at any point, and it did in this game where he's now out for the season, and as he was being carted off, he flipped off the Seahawks sideline.
But do you think, I know a lot of people are talking about he flipped off his teammates and stuff. I don't think that was directed at them. Do you?
No.
I think it was directed at the organization. The organization, yeah.
It has nothing to do with any of his
no. Everybody's like, how can you do that to his teammates and blah, blah, blah. It's like you either haven't been following the story closely enough and don't know all the particulars behind it or something. But, yeah, man, I mean, he's talking about illustrating his point perfectly. Now, he still gets paid, or no? Well, they don't get to stop paying him now, do they?
No, he gets paid.
For the season.
I don't know if it's for the season or it ends up getting prorated.
But whatever the case may be, going into next season, coming off a broken leg, his bargaining position has been significantly weakened at this point.
Yeah,
and that's why he wanted to do what Le'Veon Bell's doing, because they want guaranteed money, and I can't blame these guys because it's just nonsense. You just never know when it's all going to end in one play. We've seen it happen too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Like that's why these guys hold out. And I think the Le'Veon Bell one's a little bit more petty because I don't know. How long are you really going to hold out? Are you going to just not play the season? Are you going to stick to your guns that much?
When's the trade deadline? Week 8?
Week 8, but he has to sign by week 10 to be eligible to. Because if he doesn't sign by week 10, his free agency gets pushed back a year. And even if he does sign by the end of the season at that point, he would not be eligible to play in the playoffs.
So basically what's going to have to happen then is the Steelers are going to have to get some sort of deal set up where the team they trade him to is willing to sign him to a long-term deal, or it's not worth the bother, really.
Yeah, or they have to realize, hey, we're in deep shit and maybe we should just give in.
They won't. They don't. Historically, they don't do that. Usually, I mean,
the Roonies aren't going to just cave.
No, they don't. They don't do that. No, to them, running backs are a dime a dozen. But yeah, it's interesting that Earl Thomas basically illustrated perfectly why players do this, because sometimes fans get mad and like, you've got a contract, play, blah blah blah. But
yeah, I don't blame any football player if they've earned it for doing this, because of that. Like, football can be taken away so quickly.
Yeah,
for these guys. Like, if like a baseball player is holding out, it's like, what are you doing? Like, come on, you can get that knocked out. But yeah, football, you got to make your money when you can, because short career spans and you're only at your best for such a long time, and especially for somebody like Le'Veon Bell, where running backs are good for 3-4 years, and then
I was going to say, what you really want to get an idea of how fleeting an NFL career is. Go back and watch highlight videos from say 5 years ago, and you're going to go, oh my God, I totally forgot about this guy or that guy, and they were stars at the time. And you go, wow, and they pop up and they're here, then they're gone, and that's it. So.
Dude, I saw this video on YouTube, and it struck me as this name that hit me upside the head. And you would know, Greg. Peyton Hillis.
Yeah. Had that great season with the Browns, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch,
Madden cover guy, by the way.
Did you watch the video about him in the Madden cover and the whole, I think it's by this guy, he goes by, RKO, or I forget.
It might have been that same video, yeah.
Well, you got like Peyton Hillis as a guy, I'm sure, we can sit here and
Chris Johnson, what happened to him?
Right. Priest Holmes, remember when he was like one of the best running backs in the league? It comes and goes so fast. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You could go on forever and just listen to these guys.
Well, but anyway, I don't know if we got a whole lot more NFL stuff we want to get into.
No, I mean, there's nothing that sticks out to me next week. You got Chiefs Broncos tonight. Chiefs should roll.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs, I think they travel to. No, they host Jacksonville next week. So big game to see. The Jags are for real. So
basically, I'm still on the Saints. I haven't given up on them yet. I've shifted my irrational confidence back to the Titans where it belongs. I think we got the Bears right. And a month into the season, has anything still established itself any more than we've already known? Anything that
I think aside from like what we've talked about already, the Rams and Chiefs at the top, the Bills and Cardinals at the bottom, and then there's a lot of teams that are kind of shifting around. Like it's getting a little clearer with teams like the Ravens and the Bengals kind of creeping up, the Jaguars winning games, and there's still some teams that will take a tumble. I'm not putting my confidence, irrational or otherwise, anywhere near the Titans.
See, I have to. It's tradition. I have no choice. I mean, who would I be if I didn't have my irrational confidence Titans? I'd just be like a guy on Tank's podcast, and I can't live with that.
MLB Postseason! Woo!
First off, can I just say congratulations and thank you to the Milwaukee Brewers for putting the Cubs into the wild card game. I thought that was great. Before we go into the predictions and all that, I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
With this baseball thing, where they tie for a division like this, do you think it's okay to play an extra game, or should we just go to a tiebreaker thing?
Play an extra game.
You think so?
It's one of those quirky baseball things that's always fun, but
okay.
Like, it's one of those things, too, where, like, if this happened in any other sport, they just say, oh, well, who had the better record?
Right.
I always thought it was like that, like, that the MLB had tiebreakers because, like, oh, they were tied in the regular season, too, so here you go. But that's not the case, and that makes
play an extra game. I don't mind an extra game. Like Zach said, it's one of those quirky baseball things.
I suppose. Well, I just thought
quirky baseball thing, but like, look at what the National League teams have to do. Mm-hmm. You have to play your tiebreakers on Monday, and then your wild card game is already set for Tuesday. They couldn't flip it with the AL for some reason.
Look. The wild card game's a crapshoot anyway. It doesn't fucking matter.
That's true.
Right, but you have these two extra games where you're using your one and your two pitchers.
Right.
When you ostensibly had the tied for the best record in your division, and now you're going to be stuck, on the road in the first round, starting off with your number 3 guy.
Yeah, and the Cubs are going to go with John Lester tomorrow because they have to. You can't risk it. You've got to go with your number 1 guy because if you don't, you lose and you're done. It's not like even a 3-game series. Maybe you can roll the dice and go, okay, we can do this or that, but with a 1-game playoff, you've got to just go roll your best team out there and hope for the best, and then you're at a disadvantage the rest of the way.
That's interesting. I didn't know that the Cubs didn't use Lester today.
No, he's pitching tomorrow.
I wonder what the thought process in that was.
Well, they knew they were in either way. I think that's what made me think about the tiebreaker thing. It's like, look, everybody's in.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing
it's not like any of these teams are playing for their lives, right?
Right. So do we really need the extra game? But how about the Brewers, number 1 seed in the National League? Did anybody see that coming?
Nope.
No, but I'm not impressed because it's the Brewers, and they'll probably end up losing in the first round to the Cubs anyway.
Know, man.
So.
They've got some pretty good talent on that team.
That's the thing that's strange too. If the Cubs win the wild card game tomorrow, they end up having to play the Brewers again anyway.
Baseball is a cruel and funny game, guys.
It's the Brewers in the postseason. Like, I'm just not gonna expect much.
You're not gonna buy into the Brewers who went to the World Series one time in 1982?
I'm not gonna buy in to defend the MKE. No.
Is that their?
Tell me that's not really a thing.
Shirt.
That's not really a thing, is it?
It is.
Oh man, come on.
Which it was hilarious. Someone on the boards responded, "Who's Mike?"
They should have gone the Cleveland route. Defend the we.
Oh Jesus!
Is that what? Oh my God!
Right?
Defend the we.
Defend the we.
Not defend the land. Not defend the Clee. Defend the we.
Well, yeah, right, yeah. Milwaukee.
Well, that's standard template for the postseason shirts this year. It's defend. It's just like the team logo, and then it says defend, then like insert city nickname here.
Yeah, they're all over the place here. But anyway, so we already had, we know Milwaukee is in, and
the Dodgers are currently up 5-0 in the eighth.
So we could probably say the Dodgers will be playing the Braves.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that'll be a good series. That'll be good. Dodgers.
And then you'll have Rockies Cubs tomorrow.
Right.
I'm with CCSLC regular the Admiral in that I have a disease that leaves me unable to care about the Colorado Rockies.
Isn't it funny? That's 3 people now that have that. You, me, and him. what are the odds that we'd all be in the same place?
Well, you're not feeling Rocktober?
I really want to. I do. It's not like I dislike them or anything, but I'm with Mike and Admiral. I just find myself unable to care one way or the other. I mean, good for them, I guess, but I don't know. There's something about them. I just find myself unable to care about them. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel the same way about the Brewers.
To me, the Rockies are like the NL equivalent of the Texas Rangers. They're like the one team I always forget when I'm naming all the teams.
I agree.
Like, it's, again, like you, Greg, like I don't hate them. I have nothing against the Rockies. I just always forget they exist, except for that one year that they made it to the World Series and then got like killed by the Red Sox.
Yeah, they are just one of those teams that I don't want to say irrelevant, but that's kind of what they are.
They're one of the stuff. They're part of the stuff.
They're a stuff team. They absolutely are a stuff team.
They're stuff.
They're stuff. They're a team that I guess has to play so that the teams in the West can play somebody.
Someone's got to play the Dodgers in July, right?
Yeah, all right.
I mean,
all right. I found the shirts.
Yeah.
Defend H-Town, defend the Bronx, defend Fenway. Greg, are you going to defend Tribe Town?
I'll tell you what. I promise if I get attacked and it has anything to do with that, I will defend Tribe Town if we are under siege from foreign operatives or whatever. I will
defend Oaktown, defend the ATL.
See, that's the team I'm on. I know they're not going to win. And
the Braves?
No, the Oakland Athletics. I really want to see them do well because they're fun. At least they were when I was watching them earlier in the season. And they've just had such horrible luck in the playoffs. I'd like to see them break through this year. They won't, but that's who I'm kind of riding the coattails of after my Indians, obviously. I would like to see the A's do well.
No, the A's are going to lose to the Yankees because that's just what happens in the universe.
Right. If they were playing anybody else, I'd like their chances a whole lot better.
I mean, we all saw how Moneyball ended, right? Like, they lose to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then, I mean, we can't stay in the way of a Yankees-Red Sox playoff series, of course.
Oh, God. No. I just looked at the bracket. No.
I can tell you this. I won't watch any of that. I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't care. I just don't give a shit. I won't watch it. I'm so over that.
You better fucking do this.
Yeah. I am so over this Yankees-Red Sox thing. It's just enough already.
And you know that if the Yankees win that wild card game and get slotted against the Red Sox, like ESPN will go to 24/7 coverage.
Absolutely. I'm sick to death of the Yankees-Red Sox. I just don't care.
Yep.
Don't care at all.
Every single series in prime time, this one will. Again, if this one's playing, you'll have no idea that the other 4 series are even going on.
No, and the Indians will be playing on.
Indians of baseball. This will just be for baseball.
The Indians will be on court TV at 9 in the morning or whatever. Coming up right after match game on the Game Show Network, Game 1 of the American League Division Series between the Cleveland Indians. Come on.
I think no, but the nice thing is, I think no matter what, the winner of that series is not winning the AL pennant. I don't think. I still like what the Astros bring. They're consistent as hell and just talent everywhere.
Yeah, they're good.
Cleveland, I don't know what to do with Cleveland. They're a team that should be better.
Yeah, they've got.
I mean, at some point, but
they got a good pitching staff. You got Lindor and Ramirez. They're good enough to do it. I just don't know that they're gonna. And the bullpen, the back end of that bullpen's got some issues too. They've been running through what's his name, Cody Allen, kind of did what closers do and became not good. Yeah. So they've got some issues. The Astros, I mean, everybody's talking up the Red Sox because they won, 107, 108 games this year? And they're a juggernaut.
Yeah, so did the Mariners that year. How'd that work out?
They're a juggernaut and all that. But I tell you, no one's talking about the Astros a whole lot. And I still think they're the best team out of that bunch because they've got that pitching staff. You've got Verlander.
Agree.
And, they can hit. So
to me, with them, it's all about the pitching. Like, we've seen it time and time again. The pitching is what gets you through the postseason. Yep. Yes, the Red Sox can match it. Yes, the Yankees can match it. Even the A's, they can put up a ton of runs, but the pitching starts and ends with the Houston Astros.
Yep.
And really, as I'm kind of looking around the bracket, the series I want to see is a rematch. Give me Astros Dodgers again
in the World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because I just
if the Cubs put it together, I think they could get out of the National League and win the pennant. But for once, Andy and all of his doom and gloom is kind of right about this team. You don't know what you're getting with them from day to day.
Yeah.
One day they look great, the next day they don't.
I just can't be asked about the Brewers or the Rockies. I think the Braves are a nice story that they made it here, that they're young and on the up and up, but
weren't they were terrible not even that long ago, right? The Braves. Yeah. Just a couple of years ago, they were bottom feeders, so that's kind of nice to see. My Philadelphia Phillies didn't take it all the way home and make the playoffs like I thought they would, but they had a better season than I thought they were going to have.
But again, the Braves are one of those teams that just has a history of first-round exits.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't know that I could name...
For them, I think they're probably just happy to be there.
I think, I can name Freddie Freeman, and that's about it.
Acuna, that young kid, right?
Okay. But I can't think of three Atlanta Braves.
The big story of baseball right now is that the Cardinals have been eliminated.
Yes, they have been eliminated. Yes.
We all have to mourn.
September call-up September call-up Keith just didn't get his reps.
No, next year.
It's all right.
But he won't be September call-up Keith anymore next year.
No, I have a feeling September call-up Keith will be replacing Vintage Doug. This was Vintage Doug's retirement tour.
Well, so what do you think, Greg? Is he going to be opening day Keith?
He has to be at this point, right?
Or, I mean...
Made the roster out of camp, Keith?
What about opening day Doug? He might have a great
Doug, yeah.
He might have a good spring.
Well, we've been waiting for Matt to really reach his potential and become vintage Matt. So that could happen next year, too. There's always another quadruple Jesus down the road somewhere. Mm-hmm. And just kudos to friend of the show, Dennis, for putting together that wonderful chart that he does for us with the Cardinals.
Oh, man.
Vintage Doug and Rookie Doug, Jesus.
Rookie Doug, yeah. I think we should throw Other Doug in there, too, just because there has to be a third Doug, Other Doug. He's a bench player. Man. Gets about 300 at-bats a season. Other Doug.
We're going to the 9th, by the way. 5-0 Dodgers still.
So we've got our teams pretty well set then, barring a miracle.
I mean, they're up 5-0. I would assume Jansen comes in.
I don't even know. Do you even try to pick the wild card games? I mean, with the Cubs and Leicester, and they're at home, I think that's you got to give them the nod, right?
Yeah, and then the Rockies traveling, through the night, coming off a shutout. It's tough to pull that out on back-to-back days. Again, that's why I think this whole schedule is kind of terrible.
Yeah,
for teams, but
I mean the way that baseball just is like. I don't feel comfortable picking the NL wildcard game because
no.
I mean, yeah, you say, the Rockies got shafted scheduling wise. The Cubs should win this, but like,
well,
it's also baseball, and you just don't know. And the Rockies could win like 7-0. Like who the fuck?
Well, wasn't it last year that the Rockies got clobbered by the Diamondbacks in that wild card game?
Yeah.
And I was going to say, going into that game with the Cubs and the Brewers today, the Cubs are at home. They're playing for the division. I thought, there's no way the Brewers could beat these guys, and they shut them down. I think
the Brewers won the last 8 games, right?
Yeah, I think they were 20 out of the last 27, and I forget how many in a row. But yeah, and I tell you what, I know they're boring and all that, but there's some talent on that team. Now, I don't know much about their pitching staff, but I know. You got Chris Davis can hit. You got Christian Yelich. Aguilar, the first baseman, is very good.
Still have first ballot Jewish Hall of Famer Ryan Braun.
Ryan Braun, yeah, he's really not.
Team Israel MVP Ryan Braun.
Right. Mike Moustakas is playing for the Brewers now, so they've got some punch in the bats. I don't know much about the pitching staff though, but the guys I saw today looked pretty sharp. But that's one game. I mean, you can't take anything away from one game, especially with the pitching staff. But I don't think the Brewers. I think the Brewers might be a sleeper pick. You might be surprised by them.
Yeah.
Now, I am absolutely confident picking the AL wildcard game because, as Zach said, the A's just lose to the Yankees. Yeah. That's how the universe works.
Yeah. Who are the Yankees starting in that game? Do we know?
It doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The Yankees are starting, if it would tell me. It already has the Cubs pitcher. I don't know why they don't have the. It's all said TBD on the MLB website. That's strange.
Okay. Well, maybe they don't know yet.
I don't know why you wouldn't announce that 2 days before.
Well, anyway, so, I mean, it's kind of tough to predict, right now because, we got the 2 stupid-ass wild card games, and then it comes from there. But
I'll take the Cubs and their talent. I think that if there's a team that can bounce back, especially when you get the home game 2 days in a row, I like the Cubs over the Rockies. And then, Yankees over A's, because that's just, again, how the universe...
Right. That if there's a sure bet in sports, it's probably that one. And they're playing it in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I hate the A's. I really do. I wouldn't be mad at them for beating the Yankees, though. And hell, I'd love to see them beat the Red Sox. When it comes to teams that I hate in the AL, the A's are probably third behind those two. So,
wow, why do you hate the A's? Oh, because the Angels. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, and just shitty stadium and their shitty existence and
their shitty existence.
Yeah, hard to believe that team put together one of the great dynasties in all of baseball in the early 70s, and then was pretty good in the late 80s. And then you look at them now. I mean, they're good, but they're going to lose to the Yankees. And the worst part is it's going to be a very frustrating loss. It's going to be one of those where they're going to have 8-10 chances to win that game, and they won't be able to cash in on any of them. Wait and see.
Yeah.
It'll be like it's like when the Angels used to play the Red Sox in the playoffs. You would watch and be like, God, second and third, nobody out, and they wouldn't score a run. That's what you're going to get with the A's in that game on Wednesday. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I take the Red Sox over the A's, or the Red Sox over the Yankees. Astros over Indians, and then Astros, as I already said, to win the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
At least the AL side.
Yeah, I think the Astros are going to make quick work of the Indians. And the Red Sox will probably beat whoever they end up with. National League's more interesting because it's a little more balanced, I think.
Yeah. And you got some new faces in there, which is nice.
Yeah. We got Brewers, Braves, Cubs, and Dodgers, Rockies. You know what? I'm going to do the hot take. I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers. I think they got enough to get it done and win the National League this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Super Dodgers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take Cubs in the wild card. I think Cubs to beat the Brewers in the series that they would play against each other.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick.
Then the Dodgers over the Braves and Dodgers over the Cubs to make a rematch in the World Series of Astros-Dodgers for me.
My World Series is going to be one that the networks are going to just absolutely love. The Houston Astros against the Milwaukee Brewers. Boy, that'll draw in the ratings, won't it?
Yeah, former division rivals going at it.
Yeah.
Not quite as good as my dream Stanley Cup Finals matchup of Winnipeg versus Ottawa.
No, but it's close.
Is that better or worse than the Astros' first World Series against the Sox?
Worse. You see at Chicago, and you had some interest with the White Sox finally winning a World Series, coming right off the Red Sox breaking their first year before.
Thought of like, hey, you still haven't won a World Series, but your shitty crosstown rivals just did. So.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, the Rockies have scored a run with no out in the ninth.
Oh shit!
Too soon.
Oh shit!
Well, that'd be something if they come back, wouldn't it? Be something else. But yeah, I think I like the Brewers, and I wish I could put more faith in my Indians, and if they can put it together and play at the level I've seen them capable of playing at this year, I think their chances a lot better. With that Astros pitching staff, and they've got some good bats too, and they're the defending world champions. I mean, I don't know how you look at the AL playoff teams, and as good as the Indians are, I'd still rank them fourth behind Boston, New York, and Houston. Not in that order, but I mean, I think, but you know what I'm saying? It'd be tough for me to sit here and seriously think they could make the World Series.
Yeah.
Did Story just hit a home run?
Oh, it's 5-2.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no!
Still no outs.
Dodgers,
no, come on. Kenley Geronimo Jansen, you can't be doing this. What are you doing, bro?
Well, they put him in with a 5-run lead. That's what happens with Jansen.
And now you got Cargo coming up here.
Oh man, he's right in the heart of the lineup.
Yeah, not a good place to be. Trevor Story going yard. Look at that.
Telling a story. And then World Series champ, I would Astros over Dodgers in 5 games. I think it would. I think the Astros are just better, and as cool as it would be to have an epic 7-game series go down to the wire like it did last year. And I think it's hard to, repeat that magic twice, but
I've got to go with the Dodgers. I just want to really see the Dodgers win a World Series. So
I wouldn't mind that either. If it is Brewers, Astros, it's going to be quick. I'll take the Astros in 5, if that's the series, because the Brewers will be just so happy to be there. They'll win one game by accident, and then the Astros will go, yeah, okay, that's it. We're done toying around with you guys. And Fox is going to love those 13-1 games.
Joe Buck will be thrilled.
That's going to do it for this week, folks. We will see you next week. In the meantime, do not forget to follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. You can subscribe to the show via iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and YouTube. And if you are so inclined, we also have a Facebook page. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.